the fact that they had never done it before is their biggest issue. And why don't you just have a program that I can hold in my hand and read? So if you explain them how it goes, they loved it. Most of them actually enjoyed it more. We were able to update articles more often, player profiles more often.
And you guys were kind of like the best thing that married everything that I wanted this mobile experience to be for our product. Yeah, I think initially it kind of stemmed from us wanting to go away from printing our old digital program. Obviously, we were printing it in-house here, so that was cost against us, and then we were trying to sell it out in the stadium. I think we wanted to move away from that, both just because, A, we were doing digital ticketing this year, so trying to move stuff more digital as a whole, and then also just to kind of add another perk for advertisers with us, something that wasn't just ink on paper, something that could be interacted with and acted upon by our fans that sit out in the stadium.
Obviously, last year was pretty tough with COVID, and we were trying to figure out the best way to move forward with our program. And that's, for us, our biggest issue was the lead times for the program, the print costs for the program, and honestly, how many people we were going to be able to have at the ballpark, which would also kind of affect our quantities of program.
I had a very specific idea of what I wanted. A lot of other teams in minor league baseball had suggested like Flipping Book, Issue. I think there's a program called like UPub that all kind of do just like a PDF online, and they obviously do the kind of animated page turns. And that really wasn't what I wanted from, especially a mobile experience out in the stadium where people are sitting on their phones during the game. I wanted it to feel more like a website, but also still have the kind of swipe left and right to get through pages feel.
A couple of the places didn't have the clicking ability, like highlight the link that, it had like the pulsing to let people know that you could click on it. No other one that we had talked to had like a YouTube pop-up, like the ability to have video embedded in the project. And the price was really nice for us too. It was right in line with what we were looking for. And then that we had our own link that helped us with marketing. We did like a QR code in stadium. So to be able to have a link set up for the season was nice, because then we could get like actual signage created. Our clientele is a bit older. So for us, we were kind of worried, are they actually going to take their smartphone out and try this QR code? And we found that like when there was a little bit of pushback, if we had a conversation with those people and showed them how to do it, most times it's just the fact that they had never done it before. But we found that really the only reason they wanted a paper program was for the scoring, to do the scoring. So we just created a little one sheet with a scorecard, put it at our customer service booth. And then, we promoted the program as more of updated rosters, player bios, which they enjoyed a lot, especially this year, because we could change it on the fly.
I think it's been nice to be able to just pull it up on your phone and kind of have it wherever you go. And a lot of that information is way more up to date than we could ever do with a print ad or a print program.
In minor league baseball, players change every day. To be able to change it like each day and keep the rosters updated for our fans, they were pretty excited about that.
To Matt's point, I saw steadily increased use of seeking out that QR code over the course of the season.
The most of the feedback I got was through that kind of analytics sheet that was sent out at the end of every week. I used mostly the searches, like what people were searching, and that helped me improve what was in the program because it helped me know what people wanted to see out of what I was giving them already. The best examples I had was like our lineups. They weren't initially in there. We hadn't planned on putting them in there, but they kept getting searched. People wanted to see them, even though we have them kind of elsewhere in the stadium. But that was one thing I added after seeing those kind of reports come in and seeing the searches and searches and searches of lineups that fans were looking for.
Our sponsors loved it. I know in the past, there's been some discussions with our sponsors trying to figure out if it was worth it to have the program ad, because they couldn't directly see if there's any purchases or if anybody was really looking at it other than like, yeah, we handed out 10,000 programs at the game today. I'm sure somebody flipped through your ad once, but we can't really tell you when or how. And they couldn't change throughout the season. So from February until September, the ad that you created was your ad. Now we went to them and said, you know, if you have a specific promotion going on in the spring and a promotion going on in the summer and a promotion starting in the fall, that gives you 3 different time frames that you can call us, say, hey, you know what, we want to put this code on here, or we want to change this. So they were pretty excited about that, and it made the transition pretty easy, actually.
I think one of the bigger things, like, I know one of the things that's higher on my list is kind of going through advertisers, and I want to know which ones performed better, because I think that will inform when I can build out a guide for them. I can build out, hey, this is what worked well, this is what didn't. Here's what you should be putting into your ads and those kinds of things. Because there's definitely like the small trends I saw were the ones that constantly changed ads or had obviously the call to actions, those kinds of things. So it was those things I want to be able to stress that make it even more beneficial for you as someone advertising with us to put an ad in our program.
Sometimes it's hard to make the switch, but you know, it's sometimes a little bit more fruitful. And honestly, the cost for us was a pretty big savings. I'm sure it's a little different for some, but we were printing over 80,000 programs. So to take a pretty significant chunk of money and drop that helped us a lot. And like I said, we didn't really lose any advertising dollars doing that. So we pretty much just was all found money, which was really nice. I would tell people, yeah, it's scary, but just, you know, give it a try, make the jump. It's usually not as bad as you imagine it to be.
Fantastic. I've had 0 problems. I work with a couple other like tech companies that do some stuff with us, and above and beyond, you guys have been the fastest to respond and the most helpful by far. So just the response times and kind of how helpful. I've gotten video tutorials of how to do things, had 0 problems working back and forth with you guys.
Can you describe NXT Book in 1 to 3 words? And I was talking to Brian, I was talking to Emily, who's up in our press box, and both of them just said user-friendly to me just right away, which is, I thought was pretty good. It's very user-friendly, which is huge and makes our lives a lot easier.
My initial reaction was 3 isn't enough. I only ended up coming up with 2, but I think they summarized the kind of experience I've had for the past 6 months with you is that it was easy. It was super easy, both working with the team and just the software. And my other one was powerful, and that was kind of a big thing. I like a lot of horsepower behind the products I use. I don't want to be limited, and I'd rather have too much room left on the front end for what I could do than hit a wall.
So yeah, I mean, overall, it's great company. You guys are killing it.